Investigators are trying to piece together the movements of a helicopter that crashed in the NSW Snowy Mountains on Monday evening, in a 75-year-old man and a 64-year-old woman. Key points. A helicopter has crashed in the NSW Snowy Mountains. A helicopter has crashed in the NSW Snowy Mountains. The helicopter's two occupants, a 64-year-old woman and a 75-year-old man, at the scene. The helicopter's two occupants, a 64-year-old woman and a 75-year-old man, at the scene. Investigations continue into the cause of the crash. Emergency services found the wreckage at 11:55 p.m. about 200 meters east of the Snowy Mountains Highway at Kiandra Flats. The pilot and passenger at the scene. Australian Transport Safety Bureau Chief Commissioner Angus Mitchell said the movements of the privately owned Bell 206 Long Ranger 24 hours prior to the incident were unknown, except that it was last seen travelling with a group of helicopters on Sunday. "We have reports that the helicopter was down around that area on Sunday afternoon, but what's happened since we don't know," he said. "We haven't got any evidence at this stage of any distress calls being made. We are certainly reaching out to the other parties in the company to try to build a better picture." Angus Mitchell said the Bureau is piecing together the movements of the helicopter before the incident occurred. Monaro Police District's Commander, Superintendent John Klepczarek, said it appeared the helicopter had come down quite heavily. "Emergency services have come across something that is quite horrific," he said. "This is a tough job, but we will bind together to find out what actually happened." The operator of a nearby fly fishing business, Angus Reynolds, said the area was known for very erratic conditions. "It can be forecast to be one thing and then be the total opposite. You can get snowstorms in January, November," he said. A report will be prepared for the coroner, and a team of ATSB specialists from Melbourne and Canberra will assist in the investigation on the ground. Emergency services are investigating a fatal helicopter crash site at Kiandra Flats. Multiple recent crashes. The incident comes weeks after a helicopter crash in the NSW Snowy Mountains, where the aircraft was forced to make an emergency heavy landing in the Snowy River near Guthaga Power Station. All 5 people on board, including 4 National Park and Wildlife Service staff and a commercial pilot, survived the accident, and an investigation is ongoing. A helicopter crashed in the Snowy Mountains near Guthaga last month. Last week, a helicopter crash at Victoria's Mount Disappointment claimed the lives of 5 people, after one of 2 helicopters flying north from Melbourne's CBD for a business trip disappeared. Police said trouble had struck just after 9 a.m. as the 2 helicopters made their way over Mount Disappointment, a peak about 60 kilometers north of Melbourne that sits at the southern end of the Great Dividing Range. The crash at Kiandra is the second crash in less than a month in the Snowy Mountains. Mr. Mitchell said they are all among several fatal aircraft incidents across Australia in the past couple of months. This is the 9th fatal aircraft incident that we've investigated in half as many months, and, quite tragically, that's led to the deaths of 17 people, Mr. Mitchell said. "So, we certainly will have our work cut out for us." A preliminary report regarding this latest incident near Kiandra Flats is expected to be finalised by the ATSB in 6 to 8 weeks' time.